Good morning, YouTube. See if anybody comes in this morning. You want some more soda? Don't drink all of it. Why don't you go get Mimi's phone or a couple more little toys or something? See?
I'll go.
Huh?
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go watch the
Okay. Come on in this morning, guys, for this episode of Papa's Pew Pews. We're discussing the New York incident, the knife incident in the Walmart a couple days back, and the importance of owning one of these and training one of these and being ready, especially in today's times. Double tap that screen as you come in. Please subscribe to the channel and please drop comments. So it's happened again in New York City. Somebody drove across multiple states to go to an anti-gun zone and open fire. Good morning. Welcome into the chat. Please double tap that screen. So the question of the day is, how do you feel about gun-free zones and what just happened in New York and what happened the other day in the Walmart with a guy with a knife and how it was stopped by a good guy who had a firearm? And then what happened in New York yesterday? A guy travels across multiple states to go to an anti-gun zone to commit atrocities. If one person, one vigilant person, would have been armed and not had the fear of going to prison, they could have stopped that. The importance of having these tools that you see on the screen and training and practicing and knowing your laws and being confident. That's what today's subject's about. When are we going to stop censoring the 2A community? When are we going to stop holding back the American people and teaching the American people that they are their first line of defense? The police are always minutes away. You're seconds away. Guys, double tap that screen this morning. Let's get into a chat. Subscribe to the channel. This is Daniel with PapasPewPews. A little more somber morning this morning as I get up and I watch the news about the officer that lost his life and the people that were injured and lost their lives, all because some fool decided to drive across several states, pick up one of these tools, and take lives. But he chose a spot that he knew there'd be no resistance. How do you walk down the middle of Midtown Manhattan and with a big, long AR-15 and nobody notice you? Last time I was there was cops everywhere in Manhattan, especially since after 9/11. But yet, he was able to walk down the street holding an AR, walk into a building, go up, 33 floors with no resistance. And that's one of the most restricted gun areas, one of the most restricted gun states. And there was nobody there armed other than that officer that lost his life. And then you go to the Walmart incident that happened. The guy, what? I know it was over 10 people he stabbed before a citizen with a firearm stopped him. Said, "Not today. You're not sticking me." The importance of training, carrying in today's times is imperative. Having confidence with a firearm, having skills with a firearm, having the law behind you to carry your firearm, having prosecutors and DAs not bring up bogus charges when somebody has to use one of these. That's what stops the gun crime, guys. The fear that you've got something better than they've got. That's what slows the foolishness down. When you put a gun zone up, a no gun zone up, all you do is invite people to come because they know nobody's got one. Guys, double tap that screen, drop a comment. We're discussing the foolishness in New York and the Walmart that was in the news media. However, it's funny about the Walmart story. They're not telling you, or very few stations are covering that a armed citizen is what stopped that. They're just telling you a citizen helped stop it. They're not bringing up the fact that he was armed and he pulled out and he said, "Nah, you're not sticking me with it." What? What's up, Victor? Good morning, brother. Y'all go ahead and comment, man. Double tap the screen if you will. Make sure that thumbs up button's lit up. Like the live. Check out my content. My content's all Second Amendment related. Everything I have is firearms. Me shooting firearms, showing off firearms. That's just my channel. On the screen is a broke down 380. Smith & Wesson Shield Plus and a Boss 25 12-gauge shotgun. It's a morning, Mike. Well, I'm just waking up, bro. Figured I'd go on live and talk about. Thank you for the like, guys. Thought I'd go on live and talk about the shooting in New York and the stabbing, the mass stabbing in Walmart, and the importance of getting a permit if your state requires a permit, training, and knowing that you're your first line of defense. The police are never right there on spot. You know, I mean, their job mainly is cleanup and investigation. It's up to you to protect yourself and your family. And they're already starting. No, he had an automatic. No, he had a semi-automatic with a 30-round magazine. And he chose a place that did not allow firearms. And he walked right through the door. And nobody stopped him. I do not shop places that are anti-gun for that reason. I refuse to be one of them ones in a soft target situation. The good thing about our state here in Georgia. You carry, you stay ready. 14 people in chat. Double tap that screen, guys. Let's get into this topic this morning. Do you believe in anti-gun zones? Or do you support the Second Amendment? Do you believe in carrying your firearms? Do you believe in training with your firearms? Do you believe in making sure your firearms are properly maintained? I put the broke down Taurus 380 there for a reason this morning. I'm in the process of cleaning it up. Figured I'd throw it up on the table for the purpose of this chat this morning. And If you do carry, what do you carry? How often do you train with it? Are you proficient with it? Can you hit what you aim at? What would you do in one of them situations? Guys, double tap the screen this morning. Drop a comment. Feel free to check out my content. Sub to the channel. We never ask for money. We don't do things like that. We don't rock out like that around here. We make our own money. This is simply just to get on here, support the Second Amendment, show off the love for firearms, and chat with you wonderful people. Double tap the screen, guys. Let's get a conversation started. Don't nobody in here bite. You can make a comment. There ain't no stupid comments. Ain't no dumb questions. On table is a Taurus TCP 380 broke down. You have the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. And on top of that, you have the Boss 25 AR style shotgun. It's all over the news this morning. Guy drove across several states, hit Midtown Manhattan, walked into a high rise, went up to the 33rd floor, killed an off-duty police officer and several citizens in one of the most anti-gun zones in the nation. When I went to Manhattan a few years back, I made sure that I left all my firearms, not only firearms, my ammunition. I stripped my truck completely just to go there because of how strict their gun laws are. But he managed to walk down a busy street with an AR-15 with a 30-round magazine and enter a building and open fire on innocent people. All because there was nobody there to stop him. One of these that you see on the table, we could have had a whole different outcome. A trained citizen that wasn't afraid of repercussions from a DA or a prosecutor could have stopped it. Somebody properly trained. But instead, the answer is to pick on the rifle and make more gun laws. What's your thoughts this morning, guys? Go back to a couple of days ago, the Walmart situation. Guy went in and started mass stabbing people. An armed citizen is what stopped that. An armed citizen is what put an end to that. Saved I don't know how many lives. That's the contrast we're using today. $19 people in the room. Double tap the screen, drop a comment. Please sub to the channel. We're on our way to 1K. This is Daniel with PapasPewPews. Just waking up to some news about the shooting in New York this morning and hearing the news anchors talk and about the senseless gun violence and how we got to put an end to it. On screen, once again, Taurus TCB 380 broke down. Smith & Wesson Shield Plus 9mm, which is my everyday carry, and a Boss 25 12 gauge. I invite you to please engage. I appreciate everybody who types comments into the comment section. If you have a channel you want to push, put your channel down in the comments so people can sub to you. If you do sub to my channel, I ask that you make a comment on any of my shorts. That way, when I get off live, I can sub back to you. Just makes it easier to find you. $15 people in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining PapasPewPews this morning for this morning's edition of Gun Talk. Once again, we're discussing the contrast of New York. Good morning, Vincent. How are you? We're kind of discussing and I'm trying to choose my words safe so YouTube don't pull us down, but we're discussing the event that just happened in New York. What could have stopped it and how easily it could have been stopped. The fact that New York does not allow concealed carry to very many people at all, and the whole area of Manhattan is a gun-free zone. And how easy that guy just walked down the street with the rifle on his side, walked right in the building, and started doing what he did. On the table, double A, it's a Taurus TCP that's broke down there. You see the slide in the frame. It's a 380. Then you have the 9mm Shield Plus, and then you have the Boss 25 AR style 12 gauge. The 9mm that's standing up against the 12 gauge is my everyday carry. It's a strange gun. You just said it, Vincent. More armed citizens. That's what I've been ranting on about. And for years I've talked about that. Their answer is always more gun laws. Gun laws don't work. If somebody's just bound and determined to do harm to people, they're going to do it. What stops it? Like, look at the situation at that Walmart. The news isn't covering that near enough because an armed citizen stopped that guy from stabbing more people. That just happened 2 days ago. And even if you watch the news broadcast on that story, it says that a citizen intervened and they helped police. No, that citizen drew out his firearm, put that red dot on his chest, and said, "Drop that knife or I'm going to drop you." But they're not reporting that part because they don't want you to know that armed citizens are the first line of defense. A trained armed citizen stops more violent crime than ever gets reported on. That's why it's important to look at your local gun laws. If you're required to have permits, some states are now constitutional carry, but if you're required to have permits, get your permit, train with your firearm, keep one in the tube, always be ready. That's where it's at, guys, because that's what stops it. I know because I was one of them. I had a young man pop two people in my convenience store parking lot. A 4-year-old child ran out of my store. I ran out, jumped on top of the kid. The boy was reloading, and I had to do what I had to do to protect the child that I was laying on top of. So I know what it's like to be an armed citizen. Nah, well, there are ways, double A, to get a permit, um, but for the most part, you have to be a citizen to legally carry. Let me rephrase that. Oh yeah, Florida. I'm not too far from Florida, Vincent. I'm right here in Georgia, right across the Florida line. I'm like 60 miles north of Jacksonville. There are people who are not U.S. citizens that do have special permits, but I don't know the process. I don't know what you have to do that. Yeah, but see, when you start making stuff like that, boss, you start messing with federal crimes. It just goes back to they don't want us to be able to protect ourselves. I feel everybody should have the right to carry. I mean, they don't mind letting you have the right to vote. They don't mind using you when they need you. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I knew there was some provisions there about non-citizens. I just personally don't know that law, so I didn't want to just state, "Hey, yeah, you can carry." I know they're like different business owners. Um, there's ways you can get the right to carry as a non-citizen, but I just don't know what them ways are. I'm not able to instruct you on what to do. That's like the law they're trying to pass now, giving nonviolent felons back their right to bear arms. I think once they served their time, if it wasn't something crazy, they should have all their rights restored. Kind of like at 18, you can join the military, you can go fight for your country, but you can't own a handgun till you're 21. You can't drink till you're 21. Where the hell did that come from? But guys, I really do appreciate y'all engaging in the comment section. If you will, double tap that screen. Check out my content. If you like the Second Amendment world, I ask that you subscribe to the channel, drop a comment in the shorts, and I'll sub back to you. Also, if you have a channel and you want to plug your channel, put it down in the comments so people can sub to you also. Or if you have a favorite YouTuber and you want to plug their channel, put their channel down in the comments. Either way, whatever makes you happy this morning. I didn't even know we're dating. Nah, we're not dating. But yeah, it's a sad situation in New York right now. And like I said, I went there a few years back and I studied all the laws and took every bit of ammunition out the truck, took the firearms out the truck, didn't take anything with me. But what I did have in a truck stop out Midwest, my son in law had bought me this tank. And it was built out of, I guess, old ammo casings. And an officer actually spoke to me in New York and told me that I could get time for just having that art placed up on my dash because it was still considered ammo. The 22s are nice. I got the 21, which is the 45 ACP, and I've got the 43X, which is the 9mm. Yeah, cheers to the second. That's what I'm saying, brother. That Second Amendment keeps us safe. That Second Amendment is so important. We get on here all too often, and people just forget how important that is, how important it is to stay ready, stay trained. Because that's something. Your skills are perishable, they diminish. So if you don't train daily, weekly, monthly, when you go to the range, you might put all your shots on target today. If you don't train for a year, go back, you're not going to be able to do that. Beats, I'm building a 19 right now, but I'm doing it with Stifler Manufacturing slide and a Palmetto State Armory lower. But yeah, just for the ones just tuning in, on the table is the Boss 25 AR platform 12 gauge, the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus 9mm, and what's broke down in front of you is the Taurus TCP 380. What?
4:30 this morning.
Wow.
Alex is getting transferred at 9 o'clock to Gainesville.
Huh? What's your point?
From Brunswick. She wants to know if we can pick her up from Brunswick and take her home.
I'll talk to you when I get off live.
Okay. Go back to the picture.
Too often. But I have a lot of ways to dry fire practice. Otherwise, yeah, see, Dusty, that's my point. That's another thing that's important, guys. Holding that firearm in your hand, practicing your draw, practicing your dry fire. You don't always have to be at the range. That's not the only training you do. Making sure that that firearm even fits your hand. That's one reason I advocate for budget firearms. A lot of people tell you go out and get a $2,000 gun, and you may get it and decide, hey, this ain't for me. It don't fit my hand. I don't like it. I say get something, train with it, see if you even like the platform. If you like the platform, then you step up, or you build one, or you go buy a better one. My thing is to teach the love of Second Amendment. Try to reteach some of the lies that's been taught, some of the fear that's been taught. A lot of these people that come on these pages and make silly comments, it's just out of ignorance. They were told something when they were kids, or either somebody gave them something that was too big and it scared the hell out of them, and they just hated guns ever since. The rifle in the back is the Boss 25 12 gauge on an AR platform. That is a 12 gauge shotgun. Yep, the Citadel. Turkish made. Only thing about these is you've got to make sure you run hot ammunition and keep it clean. Why am I there? What do you mean, why am I there? I want that new Rock Island bullpup 12 gauge they've got, man. That shit looks badass. Yeah, it's 5 a.m. I'm not either. I'm not. I picked that up because it was cheap. I'm a pump shotgun person. I have a Mossberg 500 and a Maverick 88. I don't like things that are picky with ammunition. That's why I like that Shield Plus so much. It'll shoot brass. It'll shoot steel. It does not give me any problems. My Mossberg, matter of fact, it's in my content. I did a burn down video on it the other day. I threw it in a ditch, threw it in the water, picked it up, and it fired every shot. Yeah, ejector port flares. I can't right now because I've already set up the live. If I add anything and move anything, YouTube will kill the video. But it's on my shorts if you want to go see it. I call it my old ugly. Yeah, they don't let us touch nothing while on live. YouTube's gotten crazy. They've already slowed down our streams, our algorithm. Where we were running 150 people in the chat, we're lucky to run 40. Most of the time we're down below 20, but we're still pushing, bro. We're still pushing. $36 people in the chat. If y'all will double tap that screen, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 1K. We're almost there, folks. We're at like 920 something last I looked. Thank you for that like there, guys. And trust me, the conversations, man, it just gets the day started. We were talking about once again, YouTube's so funny, I'm scared to say exactly, but the event that just happened in New York. Guy walks down Midtown Manhattan with an AR-15, walks into a building, goes up 33 floors, and pretty much no resistance. Wild lettuce is in primo picking condition. Yeah, I hear you. So where y'all tuning in from, guys? Yep, right before the flowers pop. But we don't necessarily have to talk 2A, guys. Y'all in here, talk about what you want to this morning. Texas. I love me some Texas. Kentucky, I love me some Kentucky. I got family in both Kentucky and Texas. My son went Job Corps, and I can't remember the little town, but it was on the top of a mountain. It's right above Bowling Green, Kentucky. Or Bowling Green was the closest town to it anyway. Hey, bro, 19Xs are badass. You can't go wrong with one. I can tell you that much. Yeah, I got what you're saying about Bowling Green. Well, see, that's like that shield that's sitting there, the shield plus that's sitting there by the shotgun. I've got over 5,000 rounds through it. That gun's been through some hell in 2 years. I've got the FN Tactical. And then I carry as a backup, like right now, um, what's on my body is the 357 Magnum Protector Poly. Yeah, the 509 Tactical. I'll put it up on the next live. See, my wife carries the 43X. I carry the 21. Only thing about Glocks for me, the reason I like that Smith so much is the thinner grip. I don't like the thick grip on the Glocks because I have smaller hands. So, not as far as everyday carry. And I'm in a car a lot of times, 15, 16 hours a day. So that shield just fits perfect. I don't feel it on my body. I'm just used to it. You got monster hands. See that, but then again, you get what fits. That goes back to me telling people, hey, check out a platform before you go buy. Go in and hold that joker. Make sure they let you dry fire. Make sure they let you just see what it feels like in your hands, man. Because a lot of people buy these things, end up hating them, and it's like jewelry, man. Once you pay full price for something, it's hard to get your money back, your complete money, because they depreciate time you walk out the door. That's why I tell people make sure that's what you want. I mean, you can ask 100 firearms owners what to get. They're all going to tell you what they carry. Yep. Get what you like. Get what's comfortable to you. See, I like a 1911. I carry my 45, my 1911. I carry it in rotation at least once a week. Yeah, the LEO trade-ins are good. You can generally pick them up pretty reasonable. Hey, there's nothing wrong with an FN. FN's got a great trigger. I mean, they fit good in the hands. My EDC is at 9mm Shield Plus right there. That's my main EDC. I swap up though. I go from the semi, and then some days I carry the 357 Magnum that I got on my body now. And then some days I'll carry my honey badge as a backup. I carry my honey badger AR style 300 blackout. Oh, that's just a little Taurus TCP. I got it broke down. Um, it was part of the conversation this morning and how important it is to break your firearms down and clean them and make sure that they're maintained. Yeah, FN's customer service I don't like. Yeah, the Glock 32. See, today I'm carrying the Taurus Protector Poly 357, but that's because I'm wearing gym shorts today and I have it in a sticky holster and it just fits. It don't sag my shorts and stuff like that, so I can appendix carry it, and that's just what I'm carrying today. I'd love to let you see, but I can't change anything on the feed while I'm live, or it'll kill me. It'll kill my YouTube. It'll cut me off and ban me for 24 hours. Yeah, YouTube's gotten stupid, guys. They will kill your live over nothing. You got to watch what you say, how you say it. You can't have your hands on the screen at all. If my shadow goes across the screen, YouTube can be dicks and they'll pull the whole feed. Rumble still allows you to handle firearms, but I don't do a whole lot on Rumble yet. I'm still building that up. It's like it'd be nice to be able to take you guys to the range, go live, and do range videos and stuff. I can do videos, I just can't do lives. Well, YouTube's like everything else. They're getting to where they just don't like the Second Amendment. They don't want anything positive out there. Guys like me who'll get on here and talk about firearms and talk about safety and talk about training. They'd rather show the guys who hop out of the stop sign and fire bullets in the houses and fire bullets in the air. They'd rather push stuff like that because it just fits the agenda. Just like this guy in New York who walked in and opened fire. It fits the agenda. Now they can talk more gun control. They can talk about all the bad, scary firearms. They ain't going to talk about the fact that if an armed citizen would have been there, he could have put an end to all that. Yeah, beats. I just don't do FRTs, but that's me. I want everybody to have what they want. That's like the old bump stocks. I didn't care for them, but that's not saying somebody else don't. I think they're neat. I just, for what I use them for what I use my firearms for, I don't want an FRT. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, even if I want to do a cleaning video or a breakdown video on, like, say, a 1911, I've got to be careful how I do that because they'll pull that video. They don't want you showing people something that we should be able to teach. We should be able to teach somebody how to break down a firearm, how to properly handle a firearm. That's something that needs to be taught. But no, they don't want that. Guys, I'm going to break in here for a minute. Double tap that screen. If you have not checked out my content, please do. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment on the shorts, and I will sub back. If you have a channel and you want to plug it, put it down in the comments. Let people sub to you also. Build your channel up. We're pretty easy around here. Yeah, Grantham does it, but he's been doing it so long, he's got sponsors and support that'll let him do stuff like that. You're right, Dusty. He's got a big enough following that they can't mess with him too much. A lot of us smaller content creators, we're the ones that catch all the slack because they could shut us down and there's nobody going to make no noise. I mean, I'm just getting to 1K. I'm on my way to 1K subs. If they shut me down, wouldn't nobody make a whole lot of noise. Grantham and Hickok 45 and some of them guys, you can't shut them down. They got too big of a voice. Hey, I like my Tauruses. That's a TCP right there on the table that's broke down. That's a Taurus TCP 380. Uh, then you got the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. That's not what I would call a cheap gun, bro. And then you got the Boss 25. But I've got some expensive ones too. Yeah, the government took him down. And he had some pretty damn good content, to be honest with you. Hey guys, double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel. Keep the comments rolling in. But see, man, that's the thing though. Going with budget firearms, there are some decent budget firearms out there, and I want people to get used to the platforms because I made this comment earlier. You wasn't in here. If you go out and buy 3,000, let's say a 1911, go out and buy a $3,000 1911, and you find it don't fit your hand or you don't like the platform, you just wasted $3 grand when you could have went and bought that same platform for a couple $100 to see if you like the firearm, and then you could swap over to more expensive when you find out you like the firearm. Hey, I got a high peasy. I make content with it. I've got the 9mm carbine, but I also have the Smith & Wesson foldable carbine. I have the Sub 2000 foldable carbine. High peasy. Oh, they're bricks. Hell, worst case scenario, you just drop it on somebody's toe. That's all you got to do. But I watched some videos on them little 9mm high points. That dude rolled it in the mud, shot it in the receiver. It's still cycled. It's still fired. I wouldn't want to everyday carry one of them damn blocks. They say they're putting out some pretty impressive AR style rifles now. I haven't personally seen them, and I haven't personally handled one, but they say that they're making some pretty decent little ARs. Yeah, Dusty. That's what I'm saying. They say a buddy of mine was at SHOT Show and handled them, and he said they're pretty decent. And once again, guys, when you're dealing with firearms, most people will never put 2,000 rounds through a firearm unless they're just avid shooters. Now, if you're doing stuff like that, yes, you're going to go with the higher end. And if you're not putting that many rounds through, most of the time a problem on any firearm is not going to show itself because you just don't shoot it enough of the problem to show in most cases. But me, I shoot the Keltec. Yep. Me, I deal with more shotguns. I like my Benellis. But I've got an old ugly Maverick 88 and it's in my content. And that gun goes with me more places because it's what I define as a truck gun. It's old, the coat's all messed up on it, but the inside's perfect. It runs flawless. I can throw it in the truck, beat it around, drop it out of a tree, whatever, pick it up and still use it. It just, you cannot kill it. You cannot kill a good Maverick 88. And the finish is absolute shit, but it works. If you're going out and about and you're going to be beating around, and it's, I highly suggest getting one. But then I've got the Mossberg 500. I've got the Benelli. I just personally don't care for semi-automatic shotguns. I have this Boss 25 only because I got a really good deal on it, and I got it for content. It's a heavy cannon. Gotcha. And a truck vehicle is just that. You know, it's something that you're gonna expect to get scratched. You know, my Gold Cup 1911, I'd never want to throw it in a truck and get it all scratched and beat up. It's a collector piece. See, I love the Mosins. I'd love to get a hold of a Mosin, and I want to get a Garand. But I think the next thing I buy is going to be the. I don't know what version. I know I don't. I want it to be an import. I don't want it to be no American made, but I want a OG style AK-47 with all the wood furniture. I just want the original OG style AK. 39 Izzy 9. I don't think I've heard of that one, Dusty. I'll have to check that out when I get off here. I'll Google it. Because I'm all about collecting some weird guns of history. I like guns that don't everybody have. I've got some old Ivor Johnsons and stuff like that from way back. And when I put them up, people's like, what is that? I love getting that result. Gotcha. Gotcha. 10 people in the chat, 10 likes. Thank you for that like. Guys, I ask that you subscribe to the channel. I got to hop off here for now, but I'll be back on in about an hour. Until then, you guys stay strapped, stay blessed, and always keep one in the tube.